Good morning, and welcome to our Social Justice Forum. My name is Christy Nicolaisen, a member of Westminster's Social Justice team. Our Social Justice Forum's focus this year is acting based on our values, avoiding despair, in which we will seek to understand our continuing responsibility to help build a loving, sustainable, and just community. Today, we are pleased to welcome Steve, and I'll also have him say his last name because, like mine, people missay it.
Bjeldanes.
Thank you. Who serves on the Feeding My Starving Children Minnesota Council and Speakers Bureau. Steve regularly supports the Feeding My Starving Children team at the Chanhassen packing site. He will discuss their organization's commitment to feed kids, feed spirits, and empower communities. First, a few logistical items. Today, we will take questions during Steve's presentation. For those attending in person, we'll bring a microphone to you and share questions and comments so all, including those on live stream, can hear your questions. For those attending on the live stream, please submit your comment or question in the live stream chat, and Phil will bring your question forward during the presentation. As part of our ongoing effort to promote respect and conversations around the topics in our community, we have established guidelines that you now see on the screen. Please take a minute to review our guidelines. Before we get started, let's do a short prayer. Let us pray. Holy One, God of justice, breathe into us today a spirit of curiosity and humility. Help us engage with mindfulness, following the lead of the voices from our community. Guide our speech and our self-awareness so we may honor the divine in all people. Amen. So now, please welcome Steve.
Thank you, Christy.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It's a privilege and a blessing to be with you here today. I got here very early because I was worried about the marathon and didn't know what it would take to get down here. And I'd never been to your facility and spent some time wandering around. Gorgeous facility. I don't have to tell you that. Just amazing blessing. I spent some time sitting in the library, sitting in the sanctuary, contemplating, meditating, and even praying a bit. And I started to have a moment where I thought about becoming a Presbyterian. I'm sure the door's always open, but no, it's great to be here. It's wonderful to be here, and thanks for the invite. I'm going to bring you a message of hope, a message of pragmatic, hands-on, believable hope of how we can address this chronic issue of world hunger that unfortunately is not getting better, it's getting worse. The UN's report just published earlier this year says that for 6 consecutive years, we've now had an increase in global hunger and incidents of death due to it. So it is an upward fight that we're taking it to, but I want to show you that Feed My Starving Children, I think, has the formula. And what we want is more participation from good folks from you, either volunteering or donations, what have you. But the answers are real. But now let me talk to you about the problem. Every 4 seconds, someone in the world dies of hunger. Just that gap in time I took was about 4 seconds. It's a horrible fact. It's a blunt fact to start your Sunday presentation off with, but it is something to bring you into focus that this is every bit as catastrophic as cancer, as hurricanes, as typhoons, as military invasions. This is just as deadly, just as horrible. What's even worse is that half the children under 5 that perish, it's due to hunger-related causes. These are people that are having had a start in life and had that extinguished due to hunger and hunger-related issues. What's even more telling is 6,200 kids die every day from undernutrition. That's 1 every 15 seconds. And once again, that number is not getting smaller, it's been getting bigger. Antonio Guterres from the UN General Assembly, said, hunger in the 21st century is indefensible. And it really is. It's hard to believe in this land of plenty, in this world of plenty, in this era that we're in, that we still have people perishing at an astonishing rate, very much akin to what the cancer deaths are out in the world today. And this isn't just in a couple of places. It's across 53 countries where there's food insecurity and real issues. But, like I said, I'm here to deliver a message of hope. We think we have the formula. We think we have the methodology. We just need to keep making it bigger and bigger and bigger. Feed My Starving Children was started about 35 years ago due to our founder, Richard Proudfoot, going to Haiti and feeling a calling from God, from Jesus, that he needs to feed the starving children. And we experimented with all kinds of different ways of doing that. Excess product from grocery stores, different shipping containers, what have you. And believe me, there was plenty of failure along the way as we learned our lessons and how to do this right. But we think we have the formula that does it right. But food is the foundation. Food causes everything else to happen. It's more than just gnawing hunger. It's more than just malnutrition. It's more than just death of an individual. It is the unraveling of a society. Without food, without sustenance, kids don't go to school. Kids don't learn. They can't pay attention. They don't want to walk that distance to the school. The family has to make choices on what they do with the family energy and the foodstuffs. Mothers may walk miles to a job and get paid with a can of rice. That's the monetary compensation she gets to feed her children. That doesn't cause agriculture to grow. That doesn't cause infrastructure to expand. That doesn't cause education to happen. So food is the centerpiece. It is the foundation for everything. It's more than just getting something in your stomach. It's how everything starts. We are a Christian organization. This is at one of our packing facilities. We do not mandate, we do not impose our beliefs on anyone who helps, who volunteers, whatever. We are not an overt environment when you come pack with us. But at the end of every packing session, we offer the opportunity to come pray over the goods, over the cases, to make sure that they get to the right destination, to make sure they get to the right mouths. We very much believe that Christ is at the center of our organization. Our retired CEO of 20 years, Mark Crea, said at his retirement party, I haven't been the CEO for the past 20 years, Jesus has. That's how embedded it is in what we do and how we make our decisions. We have a three-prong approach to what we do. First of all, we have a mission and a philosophy that we believe every child needs to be made whole in body and spirit. We believe in feeding kids around the world. As I said, there's 53 countries that have food insecurity issues right now. We've been in over 100 countries as far as serving and developing those channels to get food to the right kids the right way. We also feed spirits. It's almost a byproduct, but when you feed the family, when you feed that child, spirits are lifted, to be sure, and certainly people know that God had done that good work for them. And also we feed spirits with the people who actually pack, volunteer, staff our organization, donate, what have you. It spills over, it can't help but happen. Really important fact of us, this isn't just about feeding someone and then we just kind of move on. We're about being there for the long haul. We have partners on the ground in all of our countries that are there, that are committed. They're usually part of missions or health organizations that use our food in complement with other things going on. Might be healthcare, might be education, whatever. And this allows the communities to move from relief to development. So this isn't just let's ship some food and gosh, I hope it works. It's a matter of we have to have the partnership agree with us that this is a long-term focus and commitment that we are going to develop this community to be self-reliant and not just have to keep coming back and handing out food every time there's a disaster or a calamity. Like I said, we experimented with all kinds of different ways of getting food to people, and Unfortunately, you may have seen news reports in the past where every time there's a disaster or a natural disaster or calamity, people want to give and they ship things to the site. They'll ship stuffed animals, they'll ship clothing, they'll ship food. Unfortunately, there's no thought beyond that of how it gets to where it needs to go. We're talking about amazing distances. We're talking about really harsh climates of tropical deserts, you name it. And getting those foodstuffs to those places the right way takes a lot more thought and strategy than just write a check or I ship these people some food. Unfortunately, you've probably seen so many instances of warehouses and piers loaded with this stuff rotting because there's no other thought of how to get it further, or there's so many nefarious things going on in that country, warlords, gangs, bandits that cause that stuff not to get to where it needs to get. We think we've figured that out, and we think we've got the right, pardon my pun, the formula to do it. First of all, the mainstay of what we do, what we pack most of, is this thing, the Manapack. The Manapack is a heat-sealed bag. It's dated and coded. This one was packed way back in 23, and it's good till 26. So it's impervious to a lot of different things. Believe it or not, when you add a 1.5 liters of water, hot water, and boil this for 20 minutes, it feeds 6 small children. But more often than not, they'll rip this open and put it into a big paella bowl, fill it with water, and feed the village. It contains rice, it contains soy protein, and it contains dehydrated vegetables and a vitamin powder. You may have seen plenty of videos with a kid with a distended stomach starving. That is from the lack of protein. They're getting probably plenty of calories, but they aren't getting protein, which causes different things to happen to the internal organs. Subsequently, soy protein in this is so important, and it's something they're not getting. They might get fresh fruit, they might get rice, but they're not getting the important protein. So Manapack is what we pack the most of. We also pack Potato W, which is a potato stuff in here instead of rice, instead of soy protein, that is meant to help children between 7 and 12 months wean off of breastfeeding and get into solid food. It's hypoallergenic, so it is something that's very rare in a third world country or a disaster area to have something clean, something like that, that is good for nurturing a kid from breastfeeding into solid food. Then we have Potato Pack D. Unfortunately, because of the conditions, clean water and clean food is a rarity in a lot of these places. Subsequently, diarrhea and dysentery is a real problem. This helps a rehydration strategy of, once again, potatoes are involved to get that kid into solid food and then get him on to getting real nutrition into his body. And then Manapack Mix just shows another way we're innovating. Manapack Mix is very much like Manapack Rice, but it's minus the rice. What that affords us to do is pack more bags per case, more cases per pallet, more pallets per container, lowering our shipping costs. When it gets to its destination, we partner with those on-the-ground organizations to source their own agricultural systems to bring in rice, corn, sorghum, whatever they need to do, priming the pump on self-reliance to get those those communities to now source agricultural stuffs from someplace else, as opposed to just relying on us. Once again, soy protein is at the heart of the Manamix pack, something they just don't get enough of. So these things are what we pack more often than not. These are packed by volunteers. 99% of this is packed by volunteers at our facilities. We have 3 facilities here in town, one in Coon Rapids, one down in Chanhassen, and one down in Eagan. We also have 3 facilities in Chicago. We also have a facility in Dallas, soon to be 2, and we also have a facility in Phoenix. We also do mobile packs where we'll bring in people from various communities that don't have a packing site at their town, i.e. Fargo doesn't have one, and Fargo each year has their church communities combined together and do a massive pack inside the gymnasium up there for 3 days and pack an amazing amount of meals. We've also done a mobile pack at Target Field. We did it back in May. We do it every year. I encourage you to sign up. It's a blast. We get all kinds of people from businesses and schools and churches that come as teams, all wearing T-shirts, and they show up one of the 3 days, maybe all of the 3 days. We take over the whole club level of the stadium inside, indoors, and we bring in pallet after pallet of all the raw ingredients, the bags, the boxes, and we packed over 1 million meals there last year in the month of May in a 3-day period. So if you have friends, associates, family members in outlying communities someplace, I don't care where it is, if you get enough people there, we will bring the goods there. We will bring all the product you need, and we'll set up the mobile pack for you. Once again, it's usually done with a coalition of churches that can bring a lot of congregations together. As I said, we are volunteer staffed. The packing happens like this with teams packing these bags and then packing the boxes. It's quite a celebration, a lot of high energy. I talked to Christy, she's been packing before. Anybody else packed before with us? Perfect, wonderful, great. What I said to Christy was, I'm glad you've done it, but it's kind of like taking a vitamin or working out. Once is good, but you got to keep doing it. So if we can get you back again to just do another one, here's a good tip. Thanksgiving week is fantastic to bring your family to come pack, to bring young people to pack, even Thanksgiving Day in the morning. Christmas week is great to bring a group in. There's even a what we call vesting, where you actually pay for the meals you're packing, $63, and you come in and have a vested period on Christmas Eve or on Thanksgiving Day. And we've had people that make that their gift to their family. They pay for the family to come and do that. It's just such a wonderful way to reinforce the right things for young people. Young people helping young people is an amazing sight to see. We are donation driven. We don't receive any government funding. We never have. Yes, there is a crisis going on around the world today. A lot of countries and governments are pulling back. A lot of funding is being curtailed or questioned. That just puts more pressure on us. We are still powering forward, still donation driven, but without other programs to support, it puts more pressure on us. We find that getting people to pack on the floor, they get it. Whether it's corporations or whatever, when they see the electricity, the energy at the packing facility, they see that they're actually making a difference with their own two hands. That's what I love about it. I mean, I could write a check, I could donate, but when I go and actually do, it is a different experience. It's a massively different experience. And the camaraderie, the fellowship is unbelievable when you go and you wind up seeing people you see every other week that, you know, they're at the same session. And we've also done some really fun stuff. To go back to the packing piece, we really embrace it. We did a marathon pack out in Chanhassen 3 weeks ago, where they basically packed from 9 to 5 the whole day, and people stayed for the whole duration. Usually our sessions are only an hour 45. We have have 5 per day at our packing facilities. Then we also have a speed packing competition where people form teams, and for that hour 45, you go as fast as you can to pack as much as you can, and then there's rewards given. I was doing it. I've worked out in the past. It was like swimming. It was just, you're moving so quick, and you get penalized if you spill. So it's not just a matter of letting everything fly. It's a really fun experience, and it really gets you energized, and the hour 45 flies by. Here's our secret sauce. We do not distribute the product. We do not make sure the product gets into the country. What we do is pack the product and make it available as a donation to partners around the world. These partners are thoroughly vetted by us. Like I said, there might be church missions, they might be health organizations, it might be whatever. They come and pick the stuff up from our facilities. They take care of the shipping. They take care of the security. They take care of the distribution. They are on the ground. They know what to do. We aren't filled with hubris that we think we know how to get stuff into Guatemala and get it there safely and get it distributed properly and not have it wind up in the wrong hands or rotting or whatever the case might be. Subsequently, these partnerships are our secret sauce. We have a conference with them every year down in Florida where we share best practices and talk about how's the best way to get this done. We also are experimenting with things in Uganda where we might actually build a plant to machine pack in Uganda that allows us to have the food right there, cuts out all that shipping, and get that product done and have the support of the missions and the groups around there, then distribute the product from there. So we're thinking about ways of how are we going to cut costs out of the system? How are we going to make this more efficient, more productive? How do we just flat out get more meals to more kids? So the partnership is something we're extremely proud of. Some really good numbers you need to know. 90% of all our funds go to the food. That is astounding if you know charity work and third-party nonprofits. Also, 99.8% of every meal we've packed since our inception back in the 80s has made it to the mouths of the kids. That is staggering when you think about the distance and the difficulties. I was joking with Christy, I couldn't ship a package to Cleveland across 35 years repeatedly with 99.8% success rate. It's a testament to what we've got with these partners on the ground. As I said, food is the foundation. Food is where all the progress starts. Education, what have you. We use the food, and our mission partners use the food to entice children to come to school to get a meal. And by the way, they get education. And one of the people that was criticizing our organization with our CEO, JJ Slag, said, "You're just bribing the kids to come to school." I'm like, got it. Yes, guilty. But the point is that the villages, these towns, have choices to make. Many times the families are miles away from the school. To have a kid who's already hungry leave the family where there's stuff he could probably be doing for the family, walking miles to get to school, to be tired, to not pay attention, then to come home and then be even more tired than when he left when mom still needed him, that's a choice many families are saying, it just doesn't work for us. So the kid gets no education. Subsequently, we start supplying food to get the kids to come to school. Really cool anecdote here. In Kenya, we were supplying food to a school on every school day. And all 5 days they were getting fed, and their scores were starting to climb. They noticed on Wednesday, things didn't really kick into gear until like Wednesday because the kids were not getting fed on Saturday, Sunday. And by the time they came back to school, it took a while to get back. And it was almost like you were resetting every week just to get back to where you were on attention span, on participation, and a retention. So subsequently, they said, well, fine, we'll feed them every day. So they fed them every day. They went to school only 5 days, but they fed them every day, and the scores continued to climb. The Kenyan government said, well, what's going on at this school? They must have some amazing teachers. What we should do is probably spread these teachers around to different places. So they took a core of the teachers and they started bringing them to different villages and different schools. And that original school, the scores still went up. So it was the food, it was the nutrition, it was the ability to stay focused, it was the ability to engage. Once again, these kids are the start of something new inside that village, of self-reliance, of building, of thinking of something different and better than just how to get to the next day and how do I get through this day with the calories on hand. Let's go to the Philippines. Meet Wayne Andre. Wayne Andre was brought to our attention in 2023 by our mission, Risen Savior, inside the Philippines. That's one of our third parties on the ground. They had a municipal doctor come to them and asked if we could help with Wayne, who was 9 years old, 23 pounds, wasn't walking, wasn't talking. Very impoverished area of the Philippines. We started applying and supplying the Manapack to him. His sister Princess up in the dark corner over there was getting it as well. After 10 weeks, he was up to 34 pounds, a 50% increase, and was starting to walk. Still wasn't talking yet. So he's subsequently been on the Manapack for quite a while. He is walking and talking now. At mealtime, his mom brings out the Manapack and he hugs it like a teddy bear because he knows what this has meant to him in his life. Obviously a massive blessing to them. That's Junior Obrand, who's our head of international development up here. And then Mark Crea is our retired CEO of 20 years, who's been responsible for so much growth of our organization. And then you can see Wayne's family. Love Dad's t-shirt. Our annual report, our fiscal year ends at the end of February. Last fiscal, we fed over 1 million kids. We had over 1 million volunteers through our packing facilities and mobile packs. And then this is really cool. We've empowered communities by using our marketplace tool. We employ basically 2,200 artisans in the villages to create baskets, pottery, tote bags, earrings, you name it. They supply that wonderful materials. We sell them in our marketplace at our packing facilities, and we sell them online at fmsc.org. And I'll give you that information at the end to make sure you have everything you need before you leave here. But when we take the money from that, we give them a living wage, and then we use whatever's left over to supply more food to feed more kids. This is a virtuous cycle that just keeps going of helping them develop as business people in those small villages, but also having us fuel the machine that makes more meals. And once again, it's about moving towards self-reliance. So 35, 38 years of packing meals, how have we done? We've packed over 4 billion meals in that period of time. It's hard to fathom when you think about we've got basically 4 states we're doing packing in and mobile packs. But it shows you how when you keep at it and you keep the formula very focused, we're able to accomplish some really big things. Unfortunately, this is not where it needs to be as far as satiating the need out there. So what's the ask? Like I said, we have partners all over the world, and they ask us for help. They ask us for the food, and we supply it. We've bumped up against the mark, and this is how far we've developed. You can do the math quickly. We've bumped up against making 400 million meals in a year. Obviously, 4 billion, you do the math. Wow, you've really picked up steam here at the very tail end. Yes, our output is now becoming that large. Our partners have asked for 650 million meals. But we know from their input and from what we've seen that if we could fund and we could pack, 1 billion meals per year is definitely possible. And that is actually our goal, is to create 1 billion meals per year. And you think, wow, Steve, you're only doing 400. No. It will grow exponentially because we have the facilities expanding, and with the budgets increasing, it is possible. And here's the deal. This isn't about, gosh, if we make these meals, maybe they'll go out, maybe people will get them, maybe they'll do some good. We know that is a request. It's almost pre-sold, being an old salesman. That's pre-sold. People want it, they'll take it, it'll go in, it'll go to good use, and we know it can work. That's why I talk about this with such a passion, is because this isn't just hope. This is a strategy, and this is a pragmatic, tangible way to get to a better place on satiating world hunger. Everything you need to know about us is at fmsc.org. How to volunteer, how to donate, what's the backstory, how many countries are you in, when's the next mobile pack, you name it. It's on fmsc.org. You can scan with a QR code. I also have QR codes I can hand out. If you want to go to Marketplace and buy anything, fmsc.org. It is super simple to get into. It's really easy to do it on your phone. Signing up, it's harder for me to get a haircut than it is for me to sign up to get into PAC. Our Chanhassen facility right down the road, you go to fmsc.org, you punch the volunteer icon, which is super simple to see, you pick your state, you figure out which day you want in the month, you figure out the time, you click on, you punch in your name, you put in your email, that's it. If something comes up, yes, you can cancel. It's not that, so plot yourself out. I'm the kind of guy that if I make myself go do it on Tuesday and plot it out, I'll do it. Otherwise, something else always comes up. So I'll always figure out how to plot. If I have to backtrack and take it out, I will. It also shows you how many people we have, how many vacancies we have in that day. Typically, we have about 150 people packed per session, 5 sessions per day. You'll see ones that maybe have more need than others and like, oh, I'll go help out. They have 120 openings in this one. This one only has 5 because the school's coming in and they don't need me that day. So I'll go over here at this time, whatever. On my birthday, I celebrated in May by packing all 5 sessions at their Chanhassen facility, which was something I thought about afterwards, towards the end of the day. It was a lot of work. But it was a lot of fun. It was fun to see the arc of the day at our Chanhassen facility and who comes in and the energy that's transferred. This is what it looks like when you pack. You get your hairnet. You get your duty of packing, either dumping soy or rice or vitamins or being a bag holder or weigher or a warehouse worker. It's a lot of fun. And this just highlights the whole artisan thing I talked about with Marketplace. Really cool stuff. Christmas ornaments, all kinds of great stuff. And the values are outrageous. A pair of earrings, $35. I mean, and a lot of times they'll do it from recycled stuff they just find around the village that they can make into some really cool thing. Like I said, baskets, tote bags, everything. I highly recommend going to that because I love it because it's transaction. It's not just a donation, a handout. You go and get something. You maybe drop by something really thoughtful for someone as a thank you. A pair of earrings, Christmas ornament, whatever the case might be. Very, very cool stuff. I mean, they have really cool stuff. Like I have cord minders that I've got that were made in Nigeria that go around my earbud cords. There's all kinds of cool stuff, notebooks, you name it. There's all kinds of good stuff that you can use that's very practical and of great value. The way you can connect with us if you want to hear more stories and learn about us is certainly we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on Instagram. And then you can click on this QR code as well to get to any one of those social channels. Once again, that feeds you right through feedmystarvingchildren.com, FMSC.com. That's what it looks like when they dump a whole bunch of this into one of the paella pots. We also have a blog called The Feed if you want to keep up to date on stories that really resonate. There's something really cool I want to share is that we often get photographs back and videos back of our food being used. And what's cool is the cases are all marked with the date and the place that they were packed. I've literally seen stuff from Chanhassen show up on these pictures. Some mother carrying it into the jungle in Uganda that we packed 2 months ago. It's very cool. You see a very direct connection. It's not like, gosh, I hope this, like I said, hope this does some good. You can see it come out the other end of the pipe. The energy, the fun, the enthusiasm at our packs are just fantastic. It's a real tonic. And one of my favorite quotes, do what you can with what you have, where you are. There's our manas. If you have any questions, once again, everything's at fmsc.org, but I'm also right here. Any questions I can answer for the group, anything I can share with you, and thank you again for having me here.
Thank you for coming. You really have great perspective, and this is such a worthy cause. I wondered, with all that you do and your mission and increasing, are your bags recyclable, or how does that happen? Because I just think of all the stuff that we're having problems with.
Yeah. I know they collect them. I know they dump them out and collect them, and I don't think these are recyclable. Let me find that out. But what we do find is that those artisans actually make stuff with them. They're actually making bracelets and weaving them together. Like, there's really cool to see Manapack things made, but that's a very good question about where does this go. Certainly the cardboard is biodegradable, but where does these bags go is a question I'll answer for you. Yes?
Hi, thanks for being
Hi.
here.
Sure.
If it's kind of a two-part question, does it end up like last year? Was there a shortage of volunteers for packing? And if so, then how would that jive with growing to 1 billion? Like, is volunteers the key, and what's the ideas for accomplishing that? Thank you.
That's a great thought. Yeah, we do have shortages, and what's been a problem is since COVID, this is a sociological thing that's been happening. Since COVID, people just leave the house less. People are going out and doing less, even though we all might think we're out. Just that kind of get out, go pack with a group of people is not as prevalent as it used to be. So getting back to those levels has been a challenge. And yes, we do have a need for volunteers. That's why I'm here evangelizing with you folks. Anywhere they ask me to go, I go. Because it's whether it's 2 people or it's 200 people, to get folks to realize how to bring your neighbors in, your school, your work partners. It's a fantastic team building environment to bring your work team in for. It's great for schools, for young people to see it. Anytime, it's great for neighbors or your pickleball club, for crying out loud. Bring anybody in. And that's what we keep talking about is like, yeah, you can go volunteer, but Steve, who did you bring? And it's about evangelizing and bringing more people in. So yes, to get to a billion, the volunteers are a key piece of it. The money is also a key piece of it. We do have machine packing in Egan, which we don't necessarily use that much of. We used it during COVID because people just couldn't come pack. But we do that to supplement if we come up short. We'd prefer to do the volunteer packing because it keeps costs down, but it also builds the relationship. The relationship is really about long term. It's not coming to pack once. It's about you feeling it, seeing it, being a part of it, and then bringing your neighbors, bringing your friends. So we are constantly trying to evangelize folks to think of a different way to bring people, different groups you associate with beyond your church, how to come and pack and join in. Can't say it enough. Thank you for that. Yes.
This congregation supports education and peace building project in South Sudan. And given the war in South Sudan, a lot of people have moved to Uganda, which you mentioned. So there are refugee camps all along the border of South Sudan and Uganda. Are you working in refugee settings
Yes.
where you've got clear partners
Yes.
of people relating to the refugee camps?
Yes, yes. Sudan is definitely a target spot for us. You can see all the countries we are in on our site, over 100 countries served, and certainly Uganda is a huge focal point for us. As I said, we're talking about building actually a packing plant in Uganda with partnerships there because the need is so big, because Uganda is just basically bursting at the seams as far as the people and the needs there. So yeah, definitely. And we also are in Gaza, and we're also in Ukraine. Ukraine is definitely published, but Gaza, we have partnerships there that we haven't quite worked out. There's product there, but the mechanism isn't there. And in a lot of these situations, we don't tell people who we're partnering with because we don't want to make them a lightning rod for whatever might be happening over there. So yeah, we're trying to go everywhere we're asked to go. That's the challenge, is we only have so much to give, but we would love to be able to go. There's more than 100 partners that have asked for our help that we can't partner with because we just don't have the inventory or the production capabilities. So yeah, Sudan has definitely been on our list for a long time. In fact, you can see how many meals we've shipped to these countries on our website and see how active it is. And it also shows last time we shipped as well.
Just an aside, last time I was out at Chanhassen, the map, the big world map that's on, still doesn't have South Sudan on it.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's the newest country in the world, and it has Sudan.
I'll look into
but that's now two countries. The country of South Sudan was not represented or shown.
Let me look into it. Yes.
I'm wondering if you bring in, say, a family or a big church group or whatever, somebody from a corporation, is there any kind of orientation, like a brief video?
Oh, yeah.
That people would see when they
Oh, yeah.
arrive, so there could be more buy-in and understanding of what they're actually doing?
I should have told you that. Okay. When you come in, it's an hour 45, 15 minutes of it up front is briefing. You come in, you sit down in our room, and you see a few slides. They tell you about one person dying every 4 seconds. They tell you about the country we're going to be shipping to. They tell you about the safety procedures. They show you a video. They show you what you're going to be doing as far as the job you're going to have, whether it's the soy or the rice or whatever. They also maybe show you a video. This one from Mark Creo is just amazing. I want to share it with you right now because I love this story. Mark, when he first started, went to Haiti and he was visiting with our partner. And the partner could see by the end of the time there that Mark was becoming massively overwhelmed. And just the strife and the horror that he saw was almost more than he could understand. And he was sitting there just contemplating, and his partner had been there for 20 years with his wife running the mission. They said, look, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how on earth am I going to rectify this? How on earth am I going to change this? And he goes, these children are dying one at a time. Save them one at a time. Feed one and move on. Feed one and move on.
We have a couple comments on the live stream. First, could you talk a little bit about cuts to USAID, how they've impacted partners on the ground?
Yeah. They have limited a bit of some of our partners' ability, but not massively. As I said, for us, we are 100% donation driven, so it puts more pressure on us, quite frankly, because other services are been curtailed or limited, so they're coming to us looking for help. We basically told at our last convention, like I said, in Florida, to our partners, the main message coming from our CEO is that we are open for business and we are shipping like never before. So we have told them they can count on us and that the product will be there, and we will be there for the long haul with them. I haven't heard specifically that we've had any kind of hindrance or crippling because of USAID curtailing a mission or whatever. And so many of these missions are like us. They're surviving based on churches or donations as well.
Just one other one real quick on the live stream. From where and how do you source the ingredients in your food packs?
These products are sourced from around the country. I believe the rice comes from Louisiana. The soy comes from various different locations. We have a vendor that makes our dehydrated vegetables and our vitamin mix. These are basically sourced domestically, usually in the middle part of the country, and across various states. And none of it's imported. And then obviously we export it. And then, like I said, in the manna mix, we have them use the grain that they have locally, whether it's corn, sorghum, or rice.
Steve, my question actually is along the lines of what Phil was just saying.
Sure.
Because of the tariffs, our soybean farmers have an enormous glut of soybeans,
Yeah.
and USAID had warehouses full of
Yep.
product. Have you been able to take advantage of those two resources to limit costs?
I can't speak to that. I don't have that granularity. Sorry for the pun. I don't have the granularity on that, but it is an opportunity for us to use it for soy protein. As I said, that is the centerpiece for what we do. And hopefully prices have gone down because of it, because it is so plentiful. Just allows us to have that much more on hand and make the bags go that much further. But very good point. Other questions? Yes.
Yes, thank you. This was extremely informative. So one thing I'm curious about is, do you have some volunteers who are experts in food science helping you with
Yes.
moving ahead? I mean, there are, products in addition to soy that can
Yes.
really increase protein.
Yes, I have some really great literature on what's actually in the bag. We have partnered, as I said, with scientists at Cargill and General Mills. And we also continue to use other third parties on how to build a better formula and how to source a better grain that might have more protein, how to get soy that has more protein, whatever the case might be. So there is a good deal of science that is ongoing and how we do things. And even could we do something differently, cheaper, that goes further with less weight? That's been done all the time, but I do have more literature if you want to see me afterwards. But I do have the guts of what's in the bag and how we come to the science of it. Yes. Anything else?
Hi, I just wanted to pull it outward a little bit. I camped in southern Minnesota last week, and there's standing fields of soybeans that are not being harvested. And this is right here because they might as well not harvest it because they're not going to be able to make any money by selling it. So they're just leaving it in the fields. And here we have that in this country. Over and against, there's people starving because they don't have enough soy.
Yep.
It's stilling, and let's pray about that.
It is crushing to think, and that's the basic simple formula. There's plenty of food in the world. It's just not in the right places. And it's difficult to get it into the right places. And finding a mechanism and a way to do it that doesn't get hung up in politics and warfare and everything else is the needle we're trying to thread. Yep.
Personal question. Can you tell us a little about how you got involved in this work? And then if you could reflect for a moment on its impact on your own faith and spirituality.
Oh, sure. That's great. I'm here on a work release program. No, I'm just kidding. We got involved because we were in Chicago for 28 years, my family and I. And my wife was very active in her Catholic church in youth education. And she had an opportunity to take the group and our family up to Feed My Starving Children in Libertyville. And my kids were probably 8 and 6 at the time. Never really done anything like that before. I'd done some Habitat for Humanity stuff and some other stuff on my own, but I'd never really done anything with the family. So we went up to the Libertyville facility, and it blew me away how simple and easy it was to come in and show up for an hour 45, put on the hairnet, wash my hands, knock it out, say a good prayer, and you're out the door. And I saw what it did to my kids, and I saw how they felt really engaged and involved, and I saw so many young people around the tables, because we take people from 5 years old. The oldest person we had in Chanhassen was 103. So we take them from, the whole spectrum. But what it does for your spirit when you go is amazing, because I believe in what I'm doing when my hands are on it. And that's what's so great. And my kids got the bug too. When we decided to relocate during COVID, my roots are up here in Minnesota. So we came back to Minnesota. And fortuitously, this is where Feed My Starving Children is headquartered. So I was telling the guys before, hello, God, hello. It's a calling. I live 2 miles from Chanhassen, so the facility. So I go over there and pack, and they're my second family. The buzz I get when I go and I pack, or I get to speak, or I get to share, is just phenomenal. I'm basically retired now, but this is what I do. I consult, and I also do this. So I've devoted myself to Feed My Starving Children. I'm on the Minnesota Council now, and I'm also on the Speakers Bureau. And we are like a rapid deployment force. You give us a call, and I'll be there. Wherever you want me to speak, I don't care. It's a parking lot, it's a basement, whatever you want me to do, I'll go speak. So it's huge. I love it. It's something I believe in because the numbers bear it out. The business case, if you will, is there. And it's something that is making a real difference. I know it is because I've seen the pictures and I've seen the reports. Can't say enough about it. As I said before, if you've packed with us, if you've been with us, it's like a vitamin. It's like working out. We need you again. Pack early and often, kind of the paraphrase of the old Chicago vote early and often. But yeah.
I know you have it on your website when you have packing, but
Yep.
could you just briefly tell people when the next packing is, like maybe in Chanhassen and local areas?
Yeah.
So maybe they may feel inclined to attend.
Certainly. We are open 6 days a week in Coon Rapids, Eagan, and Chanhassen. And we pack at 9:30 to 11:15, 12 o'clock to 11:45, 2:30 to 4:15, 5 o'clock to 6:30, and 7:15 to 8:45. So you can come on your lunch hour, you can come after work. What I've been trying to promote is actually we have Hackamore Brewery across the street at Chanhassen. I'm trying to get young people to come on a Friday and pack and then go over there. You might meet somebody of quality packing as opposed to just going to a bar or what have you. But and Hackamore does a great job of making a beer for us over there. But don't let your imagination be stymied by, packing is this one thing. One last thing, I've been working with an HR specialist who's also on the Speakers Bureau, and he actually worked with this chiropractic firm to use our packing as a metaphor for team building. So we actually had their group come in, we observed them, gave them some faux scenarios, and helped them learn about handoffs, connection points, communication, and we did a postmortem with them to what did you learn when you guys did this? And when someone said that, did you have a goal in mind? Did you do that? When this person had this problem here, were you able to? It can be used for so many different things. Like I said, if you've got a group that you want to do team building with, it's a fantastic way to do it. And it's so easy. I just gave you the times. It's so easy to sign up. Hour 45. Like I said, it was harder to get a haircut than it was to go sign up to pack. Anything else? I can't thank you guys enough. This is great for me, and it's great for Feed My Starving Children. So thank you for giving us part of your Sunday. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Steve, for your insights and perspectives. Next week, we will welcome Glenda Martinez from El Rentor Church, our partner congregation in Massana, Cuba, who will be providing us with an update on the current situation in Cuba and opportunities for engagement. We look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.